Oh, I got some juicy news for you. Profit First app version 2.0 is here. With an enhanced user experience and video guidance throughout, you can now be even more confident in your Profit First implementation. Plus, listeners who work with a certified Profit First professional get extra benefits. Check it out now at www.profitfirstapp.com.
Today, right here, right now, this is the moment that you will finally say,
I'm growing my accounting practice, and you're going to discover exactly how right here, right now,
on the Grow My Accounting Practice podcast.
I'm Mike Michalowicz, and I'm joined in the studio with
me, Liz Sworn. I'm a guide here at Profit First Professionals.
Yeah, you like that handoff? You didn't expect that one.
I like this. I like the actual.
Yeah, the actual hand. And wait till I introduce our guest. The visuals are so good on this one. It looks like she's in Jurassic Park behind her. It's such a beautiful tree back there. I'm Mike Michalowicz. I am author of Profit First, a brand new book that's coming out this next January called The Money Habit. You're listening to GMAP, stands for Grow My Accounting Practice. We show you how to do exactly that. So welcome to our accountants, bookkeepers, and coaches who join the show. We have a great guest interview today. We're going to talk all about pricing. We also have a GMAP Now task I think will transform your life. Yes. And Liz, you have some trippy discussions.
I do. I have some good ones today. We'll see what our guest gives me the feeling to talk about. But
okay. How are things in the studio? The camera is like remarkably clear on yours. Is that a new camera?
It's my new makeup, I think. No, I'm just kidding. No, you know what it is? So when it's gray, we have an overcast day today. So when it's gray, the lighting is actually better. It's like a filter light diffused, as opposed to when we're in here and it's like 1,000 degrees and blinded. Yeah. So yeah, it looks good in here. I mean, and behind me, it looks amazing.
All right, we're going to move on to our guest. I do want to give a big shout out to Relay. That is our banking platform of use. They are supporting us and supporting the show. Joseph West is the founder of that organization, and they're just doing amazing things for the small business community. If you want to get Profit First right, that is the bank to use. And it's legit the bank that I use and we use as an organization.
Amen. Remember that podcast or that webinar we did where everybody sent those video questions in?
Yes.
That was so fun. I love those guys. They just love entrepreneurs as much as we do.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. And the fact that they did it that way, it was an ask me anything type thing. And it was just a really cool format. And of course you stole the show. It was supposed to be Ask Mike Anything. It became Liz Knows Everything.
As I said before, I was like, I wore out 2 original songs to sing on the show.
Her name is Cathy Donovan Wagner. She's the founder and CEO of RETAILMavens, which helps independent retailers, particularly women, achieve financial freedom and 7-figure success. She's a former store owner, which turned her struggling business into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Through coaching, inventory strategies, and Profit First, she empowers retailers to grow profits and build lasting legacies. She's also host of Richer Retailer podcast. It's a brand new podcast you got to check out, which is guiding women to thrive in retail. So with no further ado, Cathy, welcome to the show.
Oh, welcome, you guys. It's so fun to be part of the party today. This isn't even a show. This is a party.
It is a party.
It is. And we're going to party around pricing.
Exactly.
I love pricing parties. That's my favorite.
Me too. It used to be called Tupperware parties.
Right. Now it's pricing parties.
Why, Cathy, do so many people struggle with getting the pricing right for their business?
This is amazing because I just got off the phone with the client and was talking to her about raising her prices. And she's like, I don't know. I just can't see it. So you want me to take this item that costs me $6.25 and you want me to price it at $15.99. Yeah. And so we'll judge my success on we'll judge my failure then because my sales will start dropping. I said, well, let me tell you, I've been doing this for 26 years. And I do not mean this sarcastically at all. But if that happens, you'll be the very first person.
Agreed. It's the anticipation and the fear. And Mike talks about this a lot. It's, if this was a cubic zirconium, it would mean less, but it's very expensive because it's not. Like we value things that are more expensive. We want them more. Like she won't lose money on it.
And what you asked me to, when you and I were talking about what we could talk about, which sounds like a circular topic,
It
but
is. Yeah, that's what our
uh,
conversation was. Yes.
I this is true. The impact of pricing is on your soul, it's on
Mm.
your mental health, and then honestly, lastly, it's on your bottom line. And that is not what people think. That is not what people think.
I love that positioning. So let's break it down. What is the soulful risk of mispricing yourself?
Because you undervalue yourself.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
It,
don't we all? I was just saying before the show started about how when my first day of my podcast, I called, I called Liz. I was like, "Oh my gosh, Liz, I am such a loser. I have nothing to say. I am no expert. My 26 years have been for nothing."
Yeah. Nothing to say.
And
Yeah.
she said something that was so beautiful that I believe you all can use when you think of pricing. When you're not raising your pricing, it's because of fear, right? We all can agree it's
Mhm.
because of fear. What Liz told me was that, fear, there's two sides of that fear coin. One side is fear, for sure. That's the emotional side of it. But did you know that the other side of fear, the same emotion, is excitement?
Mm.
It's the same
Interesting.
thing. It's our body that doesn't know which is which. I
Huh.
know.
Mind-boggling,
Yep.
mind-boggling. That was so helpful to me. And right, you have to, gosh, as entrepreneurs, you've been through much scarier things than raising your prices.
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
be honest.
Yep. Yeah.
And what
That's.
is
Go ahead. Sorry.
go? I'm just curious about the internal struggle because you said it's undervaluing ourselves. That's the soulful damage of mispricing.
Mhm.
Um, how do we overcome that criticism with self that we really should dictate more because that fear is real. I may lose customers.
Have you ever heard of Dr. Amen, Amen? He
I've
has
not.
this fabulous thing about
Mm.
about stamping out ants. And if you could see me right here, I'm stamping out ants. Ants are automatic negative thoughts.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
I
I
don't
love
think
that.
I'm exaggerating when I say that we have like 36 million of them going through our head. Negative thoughts every single day. Okay, and please don't hesitate to write in and tell me all if I'm wrong, but do not blame Liz or Mike because I was the one who said that number. And so the point is that you have to identify them and you have to stomp on them. And so what I've taught my clients when we've talked about this, there's a number of ways to doing it. I have one client who stands there and she literally starts stamping her feet. She says when she, in her mind, starts getting negative thoughts, she starts stamping her feet. She said it's so funny because now her whole team knows she does that. And
Great.
but the other thing is that sometimes, like that big one that I had, and I freaked out, the most important thing that I did was that I knew I couldn't stamp out that ant by myself, so I reached out for help, right? And so sometimes you have to acknowledge that that ant is there. But the other thing you have to remember is that as an entrepreneur, you have only gotten to the place you're at now because you have not allowed your emotions to drive your car. You have not. You have not. So you can acknowledge that ant, and you can let it sit in the front in the you can let it even sit in the front seat if you want, but it cannot touch the radio, and it does not get to choose the snacks for the ride.
Nice. I love it.
And that is actually what Liz helped me do. She's like, yeah,
Mm.
it's not fear, it's excitement. And I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah. Oh my gosh. That's right. Okay, fear. Yeah, you can sit right there. I am thrilled to be on this ride.
Yep.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I love it. So going back to pricing, so one of the reasons we know it's bad for our soul and it hurts us, but when thinking about the fear of this, one of the fears that most of us feel, and your client said it, is people are going to say no, which is a form of rejection. So how do you help? And we all feel this. I mean, I think everybody undervalues themselves to some extent, and we talk about this here a lot. How do you help your clients, and how can our audience help their clients work through that rejection thought?
Gosh, that's such a good question. And the only answer I have is that you have to look at the results you're getting and the fact that that person isn't right for you now. It's so hard, don't get me wrong. It's so easy to say, but I know we've all experienced it. You know, as you grow, as you have grown in your life, the friends that you have now are not the friends you had before always. Some
Hmm.
are, but they're not all because you've outgrown some of them, or they're just, you're just not sharing the same period of life, right? That's the way you have to look at it. As you're raising your price, it's because you're acknowledging, you're claiming that you're better at what you do now, that your skills have grown. You're getting better results for your clients. And
How
so,
have you done this in your 26 years as a coach, as you're guiding your clients, but how, do you have anything to share on what you have done personally?
oh my gosh, I do. And it's because just what day is it today? No, just last week, last Tuesday, we raised our prices 25%,
Oh
23
wow.
have to be exact.
Well done.
And it's because I was so frightened about it at first. Right, like I do this for a living. I coach other people through it, but I'm so grateful you asked because I'm sweating right now as we're talking.
I love that.
Um, but what I did was look at what we're providing. We also changed some things because as you grow, you do change how you deliver what you do, right? And so we were looking at how AI can get you answers to so many things now. So how can we overcome how can we do things that AI can't? And so
Mm.
we know that we can provide is we can hold people more accountable. We can hold people to a higher standard than they hold themselves so that we can help them achieve and bring super clarity to their goals so that they can stay focused on it and get the best results possible. So that's AI can't do that. And so we've
Hmm.
changed some things because we're getting better. And so we're charging more. We're
Good for
charging more.
you.
You found, Cathy, some price increasing guidelines. 25% sounds kind of substantial to me, but maybe it wasn't enough. And if someone says, well, I'm going to quadruple it, maybe it's too much. Is there any kind of parameters to determine what the right price increase is for you, the listener?
What I will tell you is that, so like that client that I said was nervous to go past 15.99. What I told her is I said, listen, Cindy, you have to find something that you're comfortable with. So if you're truly only comfortable with 14.99 today,
Mm,
okay, do 14.99 today, whatever day it is today. Now I want you to put on your calendar, put a month from now, put 15.99. You'll know what it means. No, you probably won't. I wouldn't either. So write a bigger note next to it. But but then raise it up to 15. So do it gradually. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like that's the
I
other thing.
gotcha.
And
Do you?
you're,
But am I going to the same customer a month later and saying now it's this price, or is it just for the new folks, or how's
would
that
be
work?
for the new folks,
I
right?
gotcha.
For the new folks.
You mentioned heart. Soul is undervaluing yourself. What's the mental? I'm not the heart. The mental health. What's the mental health part?
When you see yourself, when you look at the value of yourself, when you know that you're getting paid at, I'm saying this awkwardly. You're the wordsmith. Like, what does it mean when you're getting paid? Oh, when you're getting paid what you're worth. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that it's not that the price determines your mental health, but it's that if you know that you're providing more service than you're getting paid for, oh my gosh, literally, like, can't you just see people just bent over, like just they're just like this. Whereas I now that price that we've raised to, I am so proud. I am standing taller. I am standing more convicted. I have pumped out more fabulous content that will serve my people because of it. Because I can feel that my mental health is stronger.
It's funny. Before we went on air, we were talking about Wonder Woman, superheroes. I'd never seen Wonder Woman crouch over. I'd never seen Superman crouch over. It's a very proudful, strong stance. And that sounds like there's a congruency between your pricing and your mental health, and that there's a pride almost.
And I have to say, just for our clients, when we're charging more, we are so much more inclined, and I've talked about this with so many members, to do even more. Like, not that you're doing a poor job if the people aren't paying you the same, but you're just sort of like, maybe not as excited if somebody's calling, as opposed to, you know what? I am so looking forward to dive deeper with this person today. Like, there is an
Mm.
appreciation that we
Mhm.
have for this client. Like, thank you for valuing me, and I value you so much as well. Let's go deep together. Like, I'm so there's just, it feels different It feels different when we both respect and appreciate each other. There's something in there.
I would argue that for some people who feel burnt out, are you burnt out because you're not being compensated at the level that you should be? So I
Hmm.
think you absolutely start to silently resent people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Whereas
Correct.
I see myself, I mean, I honestly, and I always thought I was providing good service, but since we've decided to do all this, I know that I'm delivering better service with my clients. I am more clear. I am more focused on what I'm doing.
Now, this may have an obvious answer, but maybe not. If I increase my prices from X to Y, the difference between that, does that all flush out to the bottom line? Is that all profit gains typically?
I don't know. Do you do profit first?
Well, yeah,
Nice.
we do profit first, and actually, and therefore, it wouldn't all go to the bottom line. So if I went from say charging $10 to $15, it's not five more dollars to the bottom line because we do it on a percentage basis. So it allows us to put more toward profit, but it also allows more money to be freed up to better serve clients, to expand our marketing campaigns. Is that how you typically see it play out?
To send clients, Captain America,
Shields.
Oh, you heard about that? Yeah, yeah. You're that's a
She was in the
rarity.
room. It was awesome.
She made
I
me
was
the
in the room, right? It allows you to then offer, can you imagine the pride? So I have clients that their goal is to provide profit retirement programs for their team members. These are individual store owners. These are brick and mortar stores.
Amazing.
And they are so proud. Like they do stand taller when
mm,
they're able to do that. And it's because they raised their prices. They were
mm.
they were able to provide that. I
I
mean,
love it.
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I was
I have
talking
a
with a oh,
go.
go Liz, you go. You go.
Well, my question is, so I already know the answer because Cathy is niched, but what are your thoughts about niching and pricing? Because, for you, you are clearly, a very, you have extreme expertise in boutiques and retail and brick and mortar and some e-commerce as well. But, your clients, when you're asking them to raise, does niching come into play for retail as well? Like how does niching and pricing work?
I think what I'd like to really talk about it more is for your people listening is because
Okay.
in retail it kind of
Awesome.
naturally happens because right like so you're a maker store or you're a clothing boutique or you're a lumber yard or you're an adult toy store or you're a kids toy store like whatever like we work with all of them and and so that just naturally happens but I think the thing for your people is that there is such value in knowing the intricacies.
Intricacies. That's a tough
Thank you.
one.
Of each individual market. Like on our call this morning, Liz, that we were on, we had an insurance agent. Insurance agents' needs are completely different
Yes.
than what retail store owners' needs are. So how can I really do the best service if I'm working with health professionals and I'm working with insurance agents and I'm working with realtors and I'm working with, my mom,
Yeah.
whatever type
Right.
of thing. I mean, I really believe, and I also believe that actually, I know that there's such joy and pride in going deep and really knowing your market. Like I
Yeah.
know that I know my market and I know things that I can help, the ideas that I can share with people to help them grow their business, to help them thrive, to help them be a richer retailer in every sense of the word, because I only work with retailers.
Okay.
So that's what I know. The same thing happens with those people too.
Yeah, totally.
I had a friend who actually he's a PFP, is Brian Purkis, who recently increased prices. And he said something that I've experienced too is that people, when you make a change like this, that you are 100% sure will never leave, some of them leave. And the ones you think would never stay are the ones who stay. I'm wondering, Cathy, have you experienced that or observed that? And or is there what goes through the consumer's mind or the customer's mind when they hear a price change that would make that consideration? Should I stay or should I go?
What I've discovered is that people, so I recently had that where a client left that I was shocked at. But then I now see how she used it as a wake up call to recognize that she wasn't as happy with the service as she
Hmm.
should have been. So like I'm okay with it because I wish she would have come to me and talked to me about how
Sure.
she wasn't happy. But like that just wasn't, I don't know. I know this sounds hokey to say, but that wasn't her journey. That wasn't what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it. She felt like she needed to change, so okay, on the other hand, I worked very hard to stand powerfully. I wore my Wonder Woman socks that day, and
That's awesome.
when I presented this to our clients, and we were at a live client meeting and live retreat, and when I presented it to them, but and so as I said it to everybody, a client came up to me afterwards and says, "Cathy, you don't need to apologize at all." And I was kind of mortified because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I sounded like I was apologizing." And then she quickly said, not that you really sounded that way, but if I were you, I might feel that way. But I want you to know that no, we're all in business too. We know you're in business. So when you raise your prices, it gives us more confidence to raise our price.
Nice.
Oh,
Great.
interesting. Interesting.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, isn't
I
it?
love that.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Have you
Uh,
seen, oh, go,
no,
Liz.
no, go, 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 go.
All right. Have you seen price customers or not customers, but just any vendor increase their prices to such an extreme that it's absurd? I mean, can you overdo it? I feel I'm worth $1 million. My wife has told me I'm worth $1 million,
Your
but am
kids
I?
not so much, I'm thinking, right? No, I'm joking. I think the thing is that the economy always goes through shifts, and certainly we're in a phase of where all prices are increasing.
Yeah.
And what I believe wholeheartedly is that if you're able to show the value that is
Hmm.
in the price that you're charging now, that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah. Think about the exchange. If I say this thing we're going to do together is going to cost you $100,000, that's absurd. But if I say, but literally, once you give me that, I'm going to write you a check for $200,000. You can deposit within 10 minutes. It's like, oh, it's a no brainer. You do that exchange all the time.
Mhm.
So there needs to be that value.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
One of the questions I wanted to talk about is we're already an expert in your field, and yet you still joined Profit First Professionals a couple years ago, and which is lucky us for getting to work with you. What made you do that? What is your thinking of what
Mm.
it was able to offer, what you were able to offer your clients that you weren't doing already? Because I'm assuming, and I think I know the answer, you already did some pricing and you did some financial support for your clients. But why did you take this? Because it's a lot of time, it's an investment on a lot of levels. Why did you do that for your clients and for you?
I'm so happy to share the story because I'm quite positive that you listening are going to completely agree with this. You'll have had this same situation. So I was very proud of the financial analysis that we already offered, that my coaches and I already offered our clients. We did offer them a deep financial analysis. We did. And then I had a client who asked me about Profit First. And so, yeah, so I read the book and I said, oh, yeah, great stuff, Mike. I went back to the client and I said, yeah, so I for sure can do it better than he can. And
Yeah, yeah.
so we're just going to do it ourselves so I spent a year with that client, God bless them, and just doing it myself. And she's like, you know what? We were reading the book again, and I don't know. I'm really thinking maybe we should just stick with the way the book is. So,
That's
That's
funny.
hilarious.
so so then I decided to become, to go through it and everything. And while it is still true that I do really know that every industry has tweaks to it. I mean,
True.
there are certain tweaks that you have to account for and that I know work best for retailers in Profit First, so we call it Profit First powered by Retail Mavens because it is Profit First, but we've added to it. And the example that we give whenever I talk about it, it's that when I was first transitioning and telling clients that we were offering it, is we had a picture with the telescope, whatever the latest telescope or the previous big telescope, and we said this look. So and I said, I'm sorry, I had a picture of a nebula. Just imagine a star, you guys. So I had a picture of a star. And I said, okay, there's a star in the sky. You can see it. That's your vision of your cash flow right now and your bottom line. And then then I had a telescope on and I said, this is the vision that we had. So it's much better using retail
Mm.
like the way we had it before. But now look at the way that same star looks with the Hubble telescope. And then I put that up.
Cool.
Mind blowing. I said that is how I felt the difference between what I was already doing and what Profit First added to it. And in fact, this whole price increase and everything is because we were offering it. I initially saw it as an additional income stream to my practice, and I was looking to right, just to continue to grow and build and have more to offer clients. But we've now merged it with what we were offering before. That was part of the reason for the price increase, is because so now we're merging it and we're putting it all together. We're going to give it to everybody because it is true that it is by far the best solution for managing your cash that you can find. It gives everything a job. Every single dollar gets a job without you having to assign it. Like, because you guys see what I'm saying? Because the whole system is set up. So no
Yep.
decisions have to be made, really. It's all just set up, and every quarter you review it, but it works effortlessly.
That's
I know.
amazing. Kathy,
Great.
the bell's going off here. We're out of time. Before
Goes
we
so
let you,
fast.
I know, it always goes so fast. Before we let you go, where can our listeners learn more about your pricing strategies, maybe connect with you in other capacities?
Sure. We're retail mavens everywhere, on every platform. We have a great YouTube channel that has
Really do.
lots
Her
of
YouTube is on point. So
Thanks,
fun.
thanks. Yeah, we have a lot of really great resources there. The podcast is Richer Retailer, and that is available everywhere. And that has a lot of, we really believe in giving retailers and business owners what they need in order to thrive, in order to be richer in every aspect of the word.
I love it. Kathy,
Love
thank you
it.
so much for joining us today.
You're
Thanks,
welcome. Thank
Kathy.
you so much for this
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
All right. So what we're
Oh,
going to do now is we're going to recap what we learned from Kathy. And I bet you I got some more tips than you do, Liz. That's the challenge I'm throwing down.
Well, of course you do.
I don't
That's
know.
your job.
No, you're not
That's
supposed
your
to give
job.
in. You're like, no, I'm going to raise you. We'll talk
No,
about.
please. I know. I know what you do. I know how you
And
work.
I got a GMAP now task for you. Do we have a trippy question?
I do.
All right. So, but first, let's go trippy. Is that cool?
Yay. Oh. Okay, so in the spirit of what Kathy was talking about, which is we can do hard things and we can do big, scary things.
Yep.
The question is, what's the hardest thing you've ever done?
The hardest thing I've ever done, I think, is really to appreciate that workaholism is a holism. And
Oh,
I can't say I've overcome it. I used to be proudful and boastful that I could work an 18-hour day or whatever it was
mhm.
at the sacrifice of family, friends, time, sleep. And now if I work a ridiculous day, I'm saying, oh, I'm being ridiculously inefficient. And if I make that a routine, then I'm confirming inefficiency. So it's been very difficult because it's part of my nature, but I'm
yeah.
not proud of it anymore. And that's been helpful in removing that. How about you?
That's good. That's a really good one. I
Thanks.
remember you talked about it in, I can't remember which book. Maybe was it Profit First or was it Pumpkin Plan?
It could have been, or clockwork. I think clockwork I talk about.
Oh, that would make more sense. It was a
Yeah.
clockwork.
Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you?
And I remember, yeah, being on vacation and never being on vacation, that stuff. Good job, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
good for you. Good job. Mine is a little more emotional. It was the first, I may cry just thinking about it. The first dog we had to put down as a grown up, like our dog. And my husband's cried exactly 3 times since we've been together for 25 years. And it was when we had to put Diggs down and it was lit. It's still to this day. I'm like, because I was
Yeah.
holding his paw. And
Oh,
then, oh my gosh, I was like, that's the worst thing I've ever seen, ever. Literally ever. This is the hardest thing
yeah.
I've ever
They
did.
listen. They're a family member. They're just as important as any other family member. And
Yeah. The second one didn't get any easier. So that was the second
no,
hardest thing. Oh,
no,
geez, Moise. Sorry.
um,
Sorry to bring it down, but that was the question.
no. That was great. So let's talk about what we learned from Kathy.
Okay.
I would love to hear your thoughts first. I got quite a few takeaways.
So I love the way she said this. Sometimes I joke that words go through me, like things I say come through me. They're not actually of me, they're through me. And so when she was saying I do remember when you said this, I was like, I hope I do. But so the idea of, could the double-sided coin of fear and excitement, our body registers fear and excitement the same way. And
Yeah.
so to know that can change the way we do so many things. So I loved that she reminded me of that thing that I said. And then the fact that she walked through it. She walks through and she walks her clients through doing this big pricing thing that is so emotional, that is so filled with, anxiety and the potential of rejection. And so then the idea of ants, I'm going to be stomping some ants too.
I
That's
love that ants.
fantastic. So it was so
I
great.
love that.
It was great.
To me, some of the takeaways were this great fear we have of losing clients, and the reality is you lose very few, and the ones you do lose are ones who are price shoppers in the first place. They're the Walmart shoppers. Why do you want them if your intention is to represent your value? So I thought that was amazing. I loved the conversation of soul. We don't talk about that when it comes to pricing and how we're undervaluing ourselves. Is there a congruency with how we see ourselves represented in our price? And if there's not, something's taking the brunt of that. And it's our soul. I really enjoyed that when a person does leave, and she shared her own little anecdote about this, is that person just wasn't ready for you for now. They weren't ready for you for now. And I think that makes it much more palatable should someone leave. And that was my take. I had one more takeaway. This was just, I put a summary. I said, needs to be a price to value congruence, meaning what you put out there has to be representative of what your value is of yourself. And if that's congruent, then we're representing ourselves the right way. And many business owners don't, in my opinion.
Love it. So good.
All right.
So good.
Anything else before we wrap it up?
No, well, just your GMAP Now task. You have more tips than I do.
Exactly. So here's my last tip for you. People are vested to the degree they are invested. Let me say that without stumbling on the words. People are vested to the degree they are invested. So make sure your price is representative of that.
Love
All
it.
right. As we get out of here, why don't you share a little bit about our organization where people can make a good investment?
You want me to do that and tell them to go to profitfirstprofessionals.com so that they can hang out with people like Cathy, the retail maven Wagner, and other brave, amazing human beings. At Profit First Professionals, we have a community of people who are brave, who are bold, who are forward-looking, and all about making an impact on their clients' bottom line and in their souls and hearts and all that stuff too. So if y'all are interested in learning a little bit more about our community, our membership, how to bring more profitability to your business, please go to profitfirstprofessionals.com. There's a button on there that says become a Profit First Professional. You'll have an opportunity to meet with Ron or to meet with me and just learn a little bit more. That's it. Just learn. But maybe it's the right fit. If not, we wish you all the best. But go there. Just do that. That's it. That's all.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.